you versus Danny Myers concluded. You know what I'm saying? I know you've already spoken about it, but how do you feel about that battle?
Great, man. That shit was a very intense back and forth. Definitely one of the like coming off of the last two battles I had, which were prep and pass. I think some people had me losing the pass, which is cool. The pass is dope. Prep obviously didn't do much fighting back. So to battle Danny, who is somebody who lyrically has all the capability in the world, it was good to be in a dog fight like that. You know what I mean? Like every 2 bars, crowd's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? For me, every bar, every 2 bars, like just making the crowd react as much as we did, man. You could tell that the crowd had a lot of fun, man. Like the only thing for me is, you know, I had some slight mic issues in like the first round and part of the third, but on camera it's gonna be clean. I think it affected a little bit my reaction in the building, but on camera it's gonna be cool.
The battle was just awesome because it was one of those battles that just gradually progressed.
And got
each round it got better.
Exactly. I think my first round set the bar. I think Danny came out and matched it. Second round, I think I took it a little higher to another notch. Danny came back and matched it. Then my third round, I raised it way high, and then Danny matched it. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I love it. It reminds me a lot of me and JC because I feel like me and JC was the same way. You know, JC raised the bar, then I matched it, and it just kept going and going. So, man,
do you feel as though this might have been better than you versus JC bar for bar?
Bar for bar? I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm gonna say no, just off the strength that I don't think when this comes out it'll be held in the same regard.
Okay.
If we're talking just on a bar for bar level, it very well could be up there. I mean, we had 3-minute rounds. Me and JC was 2-minute rounds, so there are more bars to appreciate with me and Danny. Danny had hella haymakers. It's weird to me because even as a fan, trying to be on the outside looking into the battle, I feel like Danny had some high highs and then some low lows. You know, some bars that didn't get any reaction, and then I feel like I got steady reactions, some highs, some lows, but a more steadier reaction. So it's like, what as a fan, like, what do you value more? Like somebody with highs and lows, or somebody that's more steady? It's just gonna be a preference battle when it comes out, man. But that might be the best Danny that I've seen.
For your third round, man, I was pretty impressed when you came out and got like real personal with the Rex bit. What made you take that route?
I mean, this is R.B.E, man. This is a platform that listens to and respects real shit. You know what I'm saying? If this battle were on URL, I would just win bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, or I would have went with a more bar-driven angle. Like with prep, I had the you gotta pause that, and that was more of a bar-driven angle for for the crowd to be involved with.
Right.
This one was a little bit different because I was literally just talking to him, and you know, I didn't just say you shouldn't have given Rex 12 racks. I said you shouldn't have given Rex 12 racks. And here's why. 1, you could have split it amongst 3 block members and made 3 classics. 2, that's money that you could have gave to your family in case of emergency. Like I, you know what I'm saying? Like I broke it down in so many different ways as to why or how he could have used that money better as an investment for his career, and then how he could have used it to better his family life.
Honestly, I think that out of all of the Rex bars I've heard from and Danny, I think that your angle might have been the most realistic and most effective. Yeah, so like I was saying, I think that your angle with the Rex bars against Danny was the most effective that I've heard when it comes to like realism.
Right. No, I agree, and you know he's definitely had a few thrown at him in the past few battles. You know what I mean? The line I tiptoed with it was I didn't want it to carry on for too long. Because I know Danny is such a crazy lyricist that if you spend too much time on an angle, no matter how good it is, you're gonna be sacrificing punches. You're gonna be sacrificing schemes, like, and he's gonna come with that shit every other bar. You know what I mean? So I wanted it to be effective, but I tried to keep it short enough to where I still had 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes to get into that shit. You know what I'm saying?
That was smart. That was smart.
But I think it went over really well because I think the audience after I finished the angle was like, oh, okay, now I'm ready to hear bars. They were like almost more excited that I was getting back to the bars. So I feel like a lot of my reactions were a lot bigger in the third round than they were in the first two. So I think it worked out dope.
Well, taking it back to your battle with Prep, I know that obviously, regardless of how your opponent came prepared or lack thereof, I know you were happy to be back on the URL.
Very.
However, do you wish that you could have had a better battle for your first return?
Back on URL?
Yeah. And by better battle, I mean your opponent obviously had been better prepared for
It's tough to say, man, because if me coming off the resume I have this year, if I would have went to URL and had a debatable with Prep,
right.
I don't think that would have helped. You know what I'm saying? I think people would have been like, yo, he can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't beat Prep clearly. Why does he deserve a John? Why does he deserve a Big T? Why does he, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would have hurt me. I think me going in there and not, destroying Prep the way I did, it sent a clear message to the URL fan base, which is, yo, this is not the same Chilla that battled DNA. Like, he's on some whole nother shit now. Now they want to see me against this person and that person, and now that opens the door to so many other matchups. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm happy with the way it turns out. I mean, obviously, I would have loved to have had a Chilla versus JC, Chilla versus Math type of classic in my return. But in the same token, if it's not going to be that, then I would prefer it be a body like it was.
Do you think that you learned how to control the crowd better? Because I remember with the DNA battle, one problem that, now I personally have a problem with it. I'm a fan of your bars, the scheme, just the complexity of everything. I just like racking my brain, So even if there's like a long pause between when you're spitting and when the crowd's reacting, I don't have a problem with it. I know the impact of your punches in the building. It's hard to get the crowd to calm down because they're just like, yo, I really just caught that. Do you think that you've mastered how to control the crowd a little better?
Definitely, and that just comes from experience with all the battles I've done. Like, between URL battles, I did maybe 11 battles, I think, between DNA and Prep. It might even be more than that. But I went everywhere from Atlanta, Chicago, Oakland, LA 3 times, Toronto 3 times, London. Like, and crowds varying in size from 200 up to close to 1,000 at Blackout 5 versus 100 Bullets. So I had a few chances to gain experience dealing with larger crowds and perfecting my pacing and learning what material is best to certain crowds. Like, I really have learned a lot, man, and that was what I wanted to do, going to all the places I did, man. It was never like, I don't want to be on URL. It was never any hard feelings on my behalf, but it was more like, yo, I need to, one, I love traveling, which, I'll always love traveling, but two, it was like, yo, I need to hone my craft so that the next time I come back to URL, niggas are gonna have to respect more than my pen, you know what I'm saying? So now after the Prep battle, I think people are looking at it and going, yo, he's doing angles, yo, he's controlling the crowd, yo, he's timing his setups better, he stepped his delivery way up. Like, people are starting to appreciate the little tweaks and changes that I've made in my style.
Well, something else that I don't even know if you really even thought about, but you made history in a way that nobody else could, whereas you were the comeback opponent for 2 people who got into the most heated beef in the history of battle rap. I don't even know if people really recognize it. Chilla Jones is the dude that brought Math back to a classic, brought Dizaster back. You know what I'm saying? How does it feel to have that on your belt as well?
I think that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. I don't feel like people really take that into account or appreciate that. I take that into account when considering myself battler of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like, having the resume I had and like battling Math on, I had the same amount of time to prep for Math as I did for Prep and made a classic. And then 2 months later, I had Dizaster on 8 days notice with 2 3.5 minute rounds. You know what I'm saying? And obviously it wasn't my cleanest work or my best work. You know, but to have a 1-1 draw with Diz, who's one of the world's best freestylers in his home city, won a league that he hasn't battled in a year, that's a win for me. You know what I'm saying? That's a win to me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go in there expecting to beat Dizaster 2-0 on 8 days prep. I'd be stupid to expect that. I wanted to go in there and have a good battle and at least have a draw. You know what I'm saying? I think I pulled that off. So yeah, I think people overlook the fact that I was the comeback for Math and Diz, and then on top of that, me and Math had a classic. Kill prep. Just had another classic with Danny. Like,
do you think, before I get into the grand finale question, do you think that you and Danny will ever team up and join the movement of the 2-on-2 wave?
People have asked for it. I don't know if me and Danny would do it, because I think Danny and I both get more requests for other partners. Like, I know Danny gets a lot of requests for Daylight and Nitty to partner up with them. I get a lot of requests for Danger and Magic. You know what I'm saying? And 40 bars too. I wouldn't be averse to it. Certainly not. And I think our styles would play very, very well together. You know what I'm saying? Just how bar heavy we are. So I would definitely be open to it. But I don't know, man. I've hesitated to jump into this 2-on-2 thing, man, because I never like to seem like a follower. You know what I'm saying? I feel like people are joining up, like people you never thought of joining up just for the sake of having a 2-on-2 battle, man. That shit is not, to me, it's like, it's not worth it to me to waste prep time in a battle. Like, every battle means something to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, for my legacy, every battle means something to me. When all said and done and I'm done battling, I want every battle to have some sort of significance. I don't think a 2-on-2 would do that for me. You know what I'm saying? Unless it was, it had to be like Lux and Luke or something. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But
alright, well, you just brought up Lux, and I was gonna say that pretty much after leaving URL, coming back against prep and everything, well, actually even before prep, this is when the interview that took place with yours. You have increased your craft so much, and the respect in the eyes of pretty much fan bases of all, you know, corners of the world, that Norbs even called you out to be a very possible candidate to make a classic with Loaded Lux. How do you feel about, you know, having your name being thrown into the hat of, you know, potential candidate to battle the likes of Lux? Everyone knows one of the best.
I mean, that's an honor, man. You know what I'm saying? Like Luke and Lux are what got me into this shit. You know what I'm saying? So
I remember you told me that, right?
To be in a position where, you know, in a year or two down the line, I can maybe jump in a ring with Lux, like, that would be the end game for me. Like, I wouldn't. I almost wouldn't want that, because I feel like I would lose my hunger after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be like, what's left? You know what I'm saying? Like, I said this to somebody else the other day. Like, Lux is he's the Bowser in my game. Like, if I get to Lux and I beat Lux, or even just getting to him and having the classic with him, it's like, I can go back and play other levels for fun, but it's like, you know, like the challenge of beating the game is gonna be over. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I would love the opportunity, man. I know Lux respects my pen and what I do, and he knows it's vice versa as well. I also understand the business side of it, so it's like, you know, I'm on a good path right now, and I gotta follow it. I gotta continue to get big names. I gotta continue to make them competitive or beat big names. And eventually, you know, we'll get to a point where Chilla and Lux on the business side of things makes more sense. But style-wise, hell yeah. I think people would want to see it. I think the only other person I can even see that making sense with would be like Daylight. You know what I'm saying? Just because I know people have been asking for that, because Daylight's been asking for it. But style-wise and talent-wise, if you're just looking for a straight bar fest, two witty, intelligent pens who are going to be strategic and intricate, I think me and Lux could create something really, really crazy in the right atmosphere.